The thing is, guys, all of those situations are changeable. I don't care how bad the diagnosis was. I don't care how bad the breakup was. Circumstances don't matter. And that doesn't apply to some things and not other things. The circumstance of manifesting a free coffee is not easier or harder than the circumstance of manifesting away a diagnosis from a doctor that you don't want. It's just that you think it's harder. $8 a.m. EST for Black Friday. So American time, 8 a.m. EST in the morning. My course, Don't Be a Triggered Bitch, which is was so popular in my Subconscious Oz squad, goes on sale. And it's 50% off during the whole of Black Friday weekend, all the way to Cyber Monday, 11:59 p.m., almost midnight EST on the Monday. So if you're not in America, think about your time zone in terms of that. So for me, that's Friday night Australian time, right? But for the Americans, it's Friday morning, okay? And this is one of my most popular courses where I teach you why you're getting triggered and how to fix the triggers that you're being triggered by that are actually fucking your manifestation up. Maybe you get triggered by your messages being left on read, or you keep breaking up with your specific person, or you get triggered at work by your boss, or you internally spiral all the time about the slightest thing, or things you see on social media upset you, or you get easily upset, or you constantly react and you have no control over your triggers. This course is for you because you'll deep dive into why those triggers are occurring based on your concept of self and your hidden subconscious fears that you don't know you're fearing still that are causing those reactions, and it will give you emotional regulation techniques to actually quell that trigger. Plus, as a bonus to this course, and what people didn't get in the squad, is a new meditation I've recorded. It's over 8 minutes long, which really calms you down and allows you to persist through the circumstances to get your manifestation, even if the circumstances are terrible. Okay, guys? Plus, you get all the written materials that you didn't get in the squad. You get tasks, and you get 3 videos from me discussing triggers, what they are and how to overcome them, and how to regulate yourself when you feel upset. Okay, guys? And it's a really great course for any of you who react all the time in your 3D and lose your manifestation or don't get it at all because you keep getting upset or triggered or spiral internally about things. Let me get into the laws lesson for today, which is a really great one in terms of this kind of links a little bit to triggers. Why do some things seem harder to manifest due to the stories we have on them, and how to fix this issue we have? So the stories you hold about things are the stories you hold that you've come up with, but they could be based on things you think are hard or easy. So most people think manifesting a cup of coffee would be an easy thing. So you could try out conscious manifestation by saying, I'm going to get a free coffee, or imagine getting a free coffee from someone, and that will easily come to you because you don't consider that hard. If you had cancer and you were found to be terminally ill, you might find it a little more difficult to get rid of that diagnosis in your head and think differently about it than manifesting a cup of coffee. If you've just been broken up with by a specific person and they told you to fuck off and die, you might find that a lot more difficult than manifesting a free cup of coffee. But it's only the story you hold about it. This is easy, cancer's hard. This is easy, breakups are hard. He doesn't want me to live. He told me to fuck off and die. He told me to never ring him again. The thing is, guys, all of those situations are changeable. I don't care how bad the diagnosis was. I don't care how bad the breakup was. Circumstances don't matter. And that doesn't apply to some things and not other things. The circumstance of manifesting a free coffee is not easier or harder than the circumstance of manifesting away a diagnosis from a doctor that you don't want. It's just that you think it's harder because you've got stories that, oh, well, the doctor said that, it must be true, or my specific person's got their own free will. They made the decision. I can't do anything about what they said. They've broken up with me. They don't want me, right? You've got to understand that that's a story you hold, that they've made their own decisions, that this person's important and I must listen to them, that this is true, that this is truth, that this is concrete, that this is unchangeable. That's your story that you hold. And it could come from society, like doctors know what they're talking about, or when someone's broken up with you, you don't go chasing them. Whatever the story is you hold about that thing makes it harder for you because you internally hold stories about that thing being harder. So do you understand that if someone's rejected you or broken up with you or told you to fuck off and die, you've got stories that make you think that person made that decision. What you aren't aware of is you actually manifested that situation with your story about yourself not being wanted by them, loved by them, that they didn't want to commit to you, that they didn't want you, that they wanted others, whatever the stories were that caused that breakup. And if you really investigate those thoughts that you had previous to the breakup, you will uncover why you got broken up with. And all of you say, oh, it was out of the blue. It wasn't out of the blue. It wasn't something you got blindsided by. If you really investigated your thinking, you would uncover what you were truly subconsciously thinking that caused that situation. Therefore, if you caused it, you can uncause it because you are the only cause. I'll say it again. If you caused it, you can uncause it because you are the cause of what happened. It's the same with illness. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to hear that. Now, before you've had a subconscious formed, if you're a child, that doesn't apply. But when your subconscious is fully formed, you can even make yourself ill. You know how I know that? Because during C word, I never got C word. And everyone around me was getting it. And I decided, I don't get this. This doesn't affect me. I don't even use the word. You know, I'm not using the word. You can guess what the word is I'm talking about in 2020. I didn't get it. And it wasn't because I wasn't around other people. It's because I decided, I just don't get that shit. It's not in my reality. We didn't speak about it on lives. We used the word C word. We didn't refer to it. And anytime anyone told me about it, I was just like, we're not talking about that. Somebody else who was ensconced in it, fearful of it, saw it on the news all the time, would have just been like, oh, I've got this thing. I'm going to get this thing. I decided I wasn't going to get that thing. That was no harder to me than manifesting a free cup of coffee. I wasn't thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be really difficult for me to manifest this away from my reality. I just thought it doesn't exist. Now, you've got to decide where you're getting the stories that things are harder. That is based on you feeling like you're out of control and things are beyond your control. I have a story that things are within my control because I understand this. If you still hold a story that things are beyond your control, you need to watch every single one of my videos regarding thought transmission or thought reflection. I did one just the other day on YouTube, so go back and watch that. It's called They Reflect What You Think. A great majority of you, even though you learn this, even though you hear me, even though you listen to the lessons, you still aren't really accepting that that's true. You really aren't accepting that everyone in your 3D reality, including the doctor who gave you a diagnosis or the SP that broke up with you, is reflecting your subconscious thoughts. You've got to uncover what those subconscious thoughts are, then change them. Then that situation is completely changeable. Therefore, it's no harder than changing your situation from not having a free cup of coffee to having a free cup of coffee. It's the story you sticky note it with. This is hard, this is easy. Take those sticky notes away. And this person has said, and how to fix this issue. Well, how to fix the issue is you're identifying it as harder. Right? I remember I've just had a realization. When I was at high school, I remember thinking, I don't study hard enough, so I won't get into XYZ university. So I'll just get into the main university, not the one that had a slightly higher score. Now, I could have very easily, if I'd studied a little bit harder and had a good story about how smart I was, have gotten into the other uni if I really wanted to. But I just had a story that I'll just get into the University of Western Australia, not Curtin University. And Curtin University had a slightly higher score to get into the arts degree, and UWA had a lower one. Now, I could have easily got to Curtin University. It wasn't that hard to get into, but I had a story that I was only going to go to UWA, and that's all I got. That's the score I got. And yet 3 years later, I got into the most difficult university in Australia to get into, and I didn't think it was going to be a problem. I had to audition for it, 4,000 to 6,000 other people audition a year, and I got in, and I didn't think it was going to be harder, and it wasn't for me, and I got in the first time I auditioned. And yet there are people who've auditioned 5 and 6 times before they get in. Now, why did I have a story that I wouldn't get into a university, but I would get into that one? Because I had a story that I was the most talented actor, and therefore they would choose me, and of course I would get in, and I wanted to go there since the age of 5, and therefore that was a school I was going to go to, because from the age of 5, I decided I would go to that school. So in my head, it was just like a naturalness of feeling like, of course I'm a student there. I've wanted to be there since I was 5. I asked my mum when I was 5 years old to ring up and ask, how old do I have to be to get in? When I was 5, that's how determined I was to go there. I just assumed I would go there. I didn't see that as hard, even though it was the hardest school to get into, audition style, like not university, like medicine grades or anything. That's also hard. But Someone who thinks they're really smart will get into medicine really quickly and easily in university. Someone who thinks it's difficult won't be able to. Are you getting this? It's the story you hold about it. So you've got to uncover where you get that story. So I must have had a story that I was far more talented as an actor than I was as a student, even though I actually, if I'd bothered to study, would have been top of the class. And I was always told that by teachers. Do you know that instead of getting 70%, you could be getting 90% in these exams, but you just don't bother to study, do you? And I'm like, not really. And they're like, why don't you? It's the story you hold about yourself as a student. It's a story you hold about that school, that thing. I must have held that story because I was dyslexic. Now I'm just thinking out loud. So where did I get a story that one university was hard, even though it was not as hard, and one university was easy, even though it was the hardest university in Australia to get into? My thought about it, my story about it. So all I need to do is think that they're both easy. I'm equally as talented in both areas and I can get in, and I am a student at that school. So I went to the end of imagining I was already a student at the school I went to. I thought that for years before I even went in there, since the age of 5. So all you need to do is imagine you have it already. Imagine that thing you think is so hard, you have it already. I was already a student. I am a NIDA student. It's called the National Institute of Dramatic Art, NIDA, right? And I just kept saying, I'm a NIDA student, I'm a NIDA student, I'm a NIDA student. So I had a naturalness of feeling that I already had that thing, I already was that thing. Are you having a naturalness of feeling, assuming you already have that thing? No, that's why you find it hard. So say that and you'll find it easy. Okay, guys? Any more comments? I'm going to scroll up. Can you think it will happen instead of it has already? You can if you like, but believe you have received it and you will is the tenet of all manifestation. But if you honestly can't believe that you have it already, then say you will. I love how blunt you are. I do this and people hate it. Lol. Oh, darling, well, stop having that story. I have that story that people hate it too. So no circumstances matter, not even if the person is married. Guys, how many people do you know are married and end up marrying someone else? Are you telling me that that won't apply to you? Because you're so fucked. You're so unlovable. Your situation's so dire. He said X, Y, Z, therefore this. Don't give me that bullshit. You're telling me no one in the world leaves their person. Compare it, oranges and apples, guys. Compare it to the 3D world. It's like saying, oh, all men are assholes. And then you go to the person, well, your brother's a lovely person. What about your brother? Oh, except my brother. Okay, so that not all men are assholes. Oh, but just the men I've met. Well, okay, so just the men you've met apparently are assholes, but not every man in the world. Have you met all the men in the world? Oh, no, but I'm just saying, well, that's a dumb story, isn't it? So you've got a dumb story that people won't leave their person because you won't be chosen. That's about you. That's not about your person. It's about the stories you hold about you not being chosen. It's actually nothing to do with your fucking SP. So stop blaming them for not leaving their person. That's your story that they won't leave for you, about you. It's not about them. Loz, I love you. Oh, thank you. Your energy is always calming. God, wow. No one's told me my energy is calming before. Hey, Loz, it's so nice to see you. Oh, thank you, darling. Take the course, life changer. Haven't been triggered since. Oh, wonderful, darling. Yay. Oh, that's lovely to hear. So, guys, come and join us on Black Friday. It drops 8 a.m. EST US time. So that's nighttime for the Australians. Don't be a triggered bitch. We have a bonus meditation in there. We have a bonus ebook of affirmations to calm you the fuck down. We have full task and workbooks full of information about triggers, why you're getting triggered, what they are, how to emotionally regulate, techniques to do so, etc. And 3 really in-depth teaching videos about triggers and how you're getting triggered, why you're getting triggered, and how to fix it so you get your manifestation and don't fuck it up. Okay, guys, come and get it. It's only until the end of Cyber Monday, so don't miss out. Don't watch this back on YouTube and then say, I missed the sale. Okay, guys? I may need this new one as well. Guys, a lot of you need this course. And I know I say need, but the reason why I say that is if I go into my Q&A forum in either the free Subconscious Laws Facebook group or the squad or on my lives, I can see how triggered you all are. And you repeat your triggers all the time, on the circumstances all the time, or what they said and what they did and what happened all the time. You're not understanding circumstances don't matter. You're not understanding you're creating your own thing that you're getting triggered by. You're not understanding that you have all the control in the world. You're not understanding it's totally changeable. You're not understanding. And therefore you keep getting triggered all the time like bitches. All right, guys, come and join us for Black Friday sale on my website. If you're not on my email list yet, come and join it so you get the code sent to you straight away. So come and join subconsciouslaws.com's email list right now. You can either press one of my freebies, get my free course, my Millionaire Affirmations book, or my Perfect Person checklist. You'll automatically be entered into the email list, or just come and press the email list, like join the Laws letter, and you'll get on the email list. And as soon as the sale goes bing, and is live, you'll get the code to put the discount code in the checkout. Otherwise, if you're in the squad, you come and join the squad, you get 50% off code. All right, guys, and I'll be live for the launch at 8 a.m. EST here on TikTok, and I will see you then. And if you're watching this back on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. All right, guys, see you later. Bye.